Welcome back. Today, we're diving into one of the most talked about mysteries in the photography world, the Nikon Z7 Mark III. For years, rumors have swirled about this camera. Photographers, enthusiasts, and industry watchers have been asking the same questions again and again. Where is it? Why hasn't Nikon released it yet? And what's really happening behind the scenes? The Z7 III, or what many call the Z7 Mark III, is no ordinary camera. It's the highly anticipated follow-up to the Z7 II. That model built a strong reputation for image quality, resolution, and versatility. It was loved by landscape photographers, studio professionals, and portrait shooters who wanted maximum detail and dynamic range. So naturally, expectations for the next generation have been sky-high. But unlike Nikon's usual release pattern, the Z7 III has remained silent. No official teasers. No product images. Just leaks, whispers, and speculation. And that silence tells us something important. It suggests this is not a simple delay caused by supply chains or factory issues. Instead, it may be the result of a deliberate strategy by Nikon. A decision to hold back, to wait, and to carefully rethink where the Z7 III fits in today's competitive market. To understand why this matters, we need to look at Nikon's recent moves. Over the past few years, Nikon has been building momentum with its mirrorless lineup. The Z9 arrived as a flagship powerhouse, targeting professionals who need speed, video performance, and cutting-edge features. Then came the Z8, a slightly smaller but equally powerful body that gave creators nearly everything the Z9 offered at a lower price point. These two cameras position Nikon as a serious competitor to Sony and Canon in the hybrid and video-focused markets. So, where does that leave the Z7 III? Unlike the Z8 or Z9, the Z7 series has always been about something different. It's not about speed. It's not about video-first performance. It's about resolution, detail, tonal accuracy. In many ways, it's about photographic purity. That makes the Z7 III a special case. Nikon doesn't want it to overlap too closely with the Z8 or Z9. They want it to stand apart, serving a different audience. That may be why the camera has been delayed. Nikon could be spacing out its releases so that each model breathes, each model finds its own place, and no model overshadows the others. Think of it this way. If the Z7 III had launched right after the Z9 or Z8, it might have been overlooked. Many photographers would have chosen the faster, more powerful bodies, leaving the Z7 III struggling to define itself. But by holding it back, Nikon creates anticipation. They build a sense of mystery. And they give themselves time to refine what makes the Z7 III unique. So, what will this uniqueness look like? The first thing to expect is design. Nikon is known for its rugged, weather-sealed bodies, built with magnesium alloy. That tradition is not going away. The Z7 III will almost certainly continue this durability, making it a tool that can withstand rain, dust, and long hours in the field. Ergonomics are also likely to improve. A more comfortable grip. Better button placement. A design made for photographers who spend long days shooting outdoors, in studios, or on location. Another rumored upgrade is the electronic viewfinder. The EVF has become a crucial part of the shooting experience in mirrorless cameras. And Nikon seems ready to push it further. Industry insiders suggest we may see a super high-resolution EVF with faster refresh rates and minimal blackout. This would bring it on par with what Sony and Canon are already offering. For photographers, that means a more natural, lifelike view through the camera. A view that feels closer to an optical finder, but with all the benefits of digital overlays. Then there's the rear screen. Nikon's newer models have already introduced a 4-axis articulating touchscreen. If that feature makes it into the Z7 III, it would give photographers more flexibility when composing shots at odd angles, low to the ground, high overhead, or from awkward positions. For landscape and macro shooters especially, this could be a game changer. But the heart of any camera is the sensor. And here's where things get really interesting. Early rumors suggested wild possibilities, sensors with 61 megapixels or even 67 megapixels. But more reliable leaks now point to something more balanced. A refined 45.7 MP full-frame stacked CMOS sensor. The new Burr might sound familiar, since Nikon has used similar resolutions before. But the key is refinement. Faster readout speeds. Reduced rolling shutter. Improved performance in dynamic range and low light. This approach makes sense. Instead of chasing resolution records, Nikon seems to be focusing on balance. Sharpness and detail, yes, but also speed and usability. A sensor that delivers incredible image quality without sacrificing performance. For many photographers, that's far more valuable than simply pushing the megapixel count higher. Of course, autofocus is just as important. Nikon has been steadily improving its subject detection, eye tracking, and performance in complex scenes. With the Z7 III, we can expect even smarter autofocus, better tracking of animals, birds, people, and objects, more reliability in low light, and improved accuracy when subjects move erratically. This is critical for wildlife, events, and portrait photography, where capturing the decisive moment makes all the difference. Now let's talk about video. The Z7 series has always been photography first. That's not changing. But Nikon also knows that hybrid creators exist. So while the Z7 III may not match the Z8 or Z9 in video power, it won't ignore video entirely. Rumors suggest internal 10-bit recording, H.265 support, and maybe even Apple ProRes. 6K video seems likely, and there's even speculation about limited 8K at 30 frames per second. But Nikon will likely manage thermals carefully. That means conservative limits to avoid overheating. In practice, the Z7 III will be fine for shorter video projects, vlogs, or hybrid use. But if you want long, demanding video sessions, Nikon clearly wants you to buy the Z8 or Z9 instead. The Z7 III stays true to its roots as a stills-first camera, with video as a bonus. One of the most fascinating decisions Nikon seems to be making is to keep the mechanical shutter. Many brands are moving to fully electronic shutters. But Nikon knows the mechanical shutter still matters. Professionals value flash sync reliability. They value consistent results under artificial light. They value the tactile click that reassures them the shot was taken. By keeping the mechanical shutter, Nikon shows respect for photographic tradition while still offering electronic options when needed. Under the hood, the Z7 III is expected to run on the X7 processor. This is the same engine powering Nikon's latest cameras, and it's highly efficient. With it, the Z7 III should deliver faster image processing, smarter autofocus, and better recognition of faces, eyes, animals, and subjects in motion. Burst rates may be around 10 to 15 frames per second, not as fast as the Z8's 30 frames per second, but fast enough for most still shooters. Studio, portrait, event, and landscape photographers rarely need extreme frame rates. What they need is consistency and quality. Another major upgrade could be stabilization. The Z7 II already had good IBIS, 5 stops of stabilization. But the Z7 III may push it to 8 stops. That's a huge leap. It means sharper handheld shots at slower shutter speeds. It means less need for tripods in certain conditions. And it makes the camera more versatile in real-world use. There are also whispers of focus point stabilization, a system that stabilizes around the exact autofocus point you're using. If true, this would be especially powerful for macro, wildlife, and telephoto photography. Storage and connectivity will also evolve. Dual card slots are almost certain, probably CF Express Type B paired with UHS-2 SD. That combination gives professionals speed, redundancy, and flexibility. On the wireless side, expect 5 GHz Wi-Fi, Bluetooth LE, and high-speed tethering. For pros in studios or on location, instant transfers and remote control are invaluable. But here's something to note. Nikon is holding back certain features on purpose. Don't expect pixel shift multi-shot. Don't expect internal cooling systems or full-frame 8K RAW pipelines. Those features are reserved for the Z8 and Z9. The Z7 III has a different mission. It's not meant to be a jack of all trades. It's meant to be a master of one, high-resolution photography. This brings us to pricing. Most predictions place the Z7 III in the $3,000 to $3,300 range. That positions it neatly between the Z6 III and the Z8. It also places it head-to-head with rivals like the Sony A7 RV and Canon EOS R5. Both of those cameras are strong contenders, with their own combinations of resolution, autofocus eye, intelligence, and hybrid video power. But Nikon seems to be carving out a niche, a camera for serious still photographers who prioritize image quality over flashy specs. And that's why the Z7 III matters. It's not just another camera. It's a statement. A reminder that Nikon hasn't forgotten the photographer. The person who values tonal accuracy. The person who wants a reliable autofocus system. The person who appreciates tactile ergonomics, weather-sealed builds, and a tool that feels like an extension of the hand. If Nikon executes this vision correctly, the Z7 III won't just be a quiet update. It could be a subtle revolution. A renewed promise that Nikon is still here for the purists, the artists, and the professionals who care about detail above all else. The wait has been long. Longer than anyone expected. But maybe that's the point. Maybe Nikon wanted the anticipation to build. Maybe they wanted the timing to be perfect. Or maybe they simply wanted to make sure that when the Z7 III finally arrives, it delivers exactly what photographers need, nothing more, nothing less. So as we wrap up this first section, the story of the Nikon Z7 III is about more than specs. It's about strategy. It's about timing. It's about Nikon choosing not to rush, but to carefully craft a camera that stands apart from the Z8 and Z9. A camera that may not chase every trend, but instead focuses on the fundamentals of photography, resolution, reliability, and refinement.